Hello, my name is Alex Gomez and welcome back to my channel. On today's video we're gonna be sculpting Jessica Rabbit by Umintsu. So if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to comment, like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and please hit the notification bell to be notified when I post a video every Friday. So let's get to it. Okay, so starting with the blowout, I knew that this character is not gonna be symmetrical. The only thing symmetrical is gonna be just the face. The rest is not gonna be symmetrical at all. So I pretty much kind of like give that cartoony egg shape kind of like head. And then I start working in the eyes. And as always do with my characters, I kind of like have a sphere and I cut it in half and then duplicate it to make the eyelids of the character. Then to have a better sense where the proportions and the eyes are going to be, and if they're looking good, I add the ears. As you can see, the ear, the bottom of the ear kind of like lines up with the mouth, and the top of the ear. In this case it's a little bit different because it's a cartoon character, but normally the top of the ear will line up with the top of the eyes, and the lower part of the ear will match with the mouth. And I started doing the body. Pretty much I decided just to start doing it symmetrical, so I can add the same kind of like a shoulders. I don't have to do it like twice, but I know that I'm gonna keep the same proportions, for example in the shoulders in this stage of the blowout. And I add the arm. This is just like a simple blowout with primitive shapes, as I always do in my other characters. Even though I'm working with symmetry, without symmetry here, like with symmetry, I'm kind of like I know that this character just have one arm just for this pose, and then I'm gonna start like merging everything just to get it right. After I merge the arm and Dynameshed, I start modify it a little bit and breaking out that symmetry, giving a little bit more of volume, as well as trying to get that shoulder a little bit up, so I can give that shape of her kind of like leaning towards her right. Then I work on the other shoulder, but still leaving as a separate object, because I find like it's easier to block out and add a little bit more of details if you don't Dynamesh yet the whole thing. The same case scenario I did with her chest, I did the same. So kind of like I Dynamesh one and then I Dynamesh the other side, so I could definitely kind of like have one side lifted more than the other one. In the arms I kind of like I chip it out a little bit more. I give like a better shape of those arms. Those arms definitely were too straight, so I gave a little bit of volume in the forearm, and then I cut it and Dynamesh, and I kind of like mask it, and that's why I left it as a separate piece and didn't Dynamesh to a body yet, because the idea was to put it separate and split it, the mask part, and then I can have that part as the glove that is covering that part of the arm. Now as you can see, I just definitely broke symmetry and started shaping more the pose and adding a little bit more details, and always taking in consideration what I'm keeping, what I'm not keeping, what parts are separate or they're not separate. I work a little bit on the neck as well. The neck is definitely not realistic, it's very elastic, so it's very cartoony, so don't expect that this is, oh, this neck, it looks not with proper anatomy, but yeah, it's not like proper anatomy at all, because this is just very cartoon. So the neck kind of like is doing that very, it looks very elastic, but it gives a nice touch, I believe. So yeah, I just work a little bit more on the glove, on that part of the glove, and that part that is kind of like going towards her breast and filling out a little bit more volume on the sides. I keep polishing the back and I keep polishing the body, and still I move and in this time I'm just gonna create a mask, and I'm just gonna extract that part of the dress. And definitely this is what I did, kind of like give it like a nice shape, very like rough. And then after I extract that part, I've just zero mesh it to have like a better geometry in there. But I didn't do much. That's all I need for the dress, is just, you know, just like an extract. Then I move on to the mouth, and start working on the mouth, start working on the lips as she's ready to send a kiss. It was a little bit challenging to get like that kiss shape of mouth. I definitely need to practice more like lips and facial expressions for my characters, but you know, it's part of the process, part of the learning. So yeah, I did my best as I could. I didn't want to spend as much time, but I think probably work out. So I kind of like work on the lips. It take me a little bit longer than the rest of the face, but I think that I achieved a good result at the end. It could have been probably a little bit better, just being me, just judging as an artist our own work. We're never satisfied of the work that we do. Even though other people might think that is super great, but sometimes there's always room for improvement. But if you always improve, you're never gonna finish your stuff. If you always improve your pieces all the time, you see that, oh, I need to improve this piece in this area or that area. Like you're not gonna finish your piece. You're gonna procrastinate your piece. Just finish it and take in consideration the things that you already noticed that can be improved, and improve them in your next piece. Okay. So yeah, so anyways, I start adding a little bit of colors and trying to make it a little bit funner, because I definitely find that once you add more colors, you have a better sense of how she looks like, and the way that your proportions and your details are looking, which is a good way to go. And yeah, so I start like a poly paint. First the lips, I'm moving to the eyelids, doing a little bit of the makeup and put a little bit of red in the nose, and doing the eyelashes, and obviously like that kind of like a red base in the nose and the cheeks that I will add later, and definitely put the teeth and put the tongue, and that makes the character kind of like looks more real, not real, but like more appealing, because it doesn't make sense just to have a hole right there. Definitely adding the eyes, it makes a big impact and a big difference. So yeah, I went like through a very cartoony, as I based this in the design that I showed you in the beginning of the video. And start polishing a little bit more the face and kind of like the body as well. As you can see, I just move back and forth between different pieces. So because once I work, for example, in the body, then I start seeing something that is doesn't make sense, so it looks kind of weird in the head. So that's why I like to take a break. So it's good to take a break in your when you're working on a subtool or a piece of your model, and then you go back to another piece, you can start seeing like some ways that it can be improved. Okay, so then I just start doing the head in very simple way, just using like the curve bend tool, and just giving some shape and a little bit of clay buildup, and some damp standard and pinch. That's how I create kind of like giving some kind of like a hard strands right there with the clay buildup. Obviously with the clay build I change the alpha so it doesn't go as sharp as it, like as square as it normally does. So I really love this tool here, the bend curve. I use it a lot. I use it most of the time just to make hair, like, to be honest. But but it's a really cool one. So then after you have the shape, you can just Dynamesh and start adding a little bit more of details to it. Because definitely once you use if you use it from a polished feed, all that stretching is going to modify your topology. So it's better when you're adding details to have that Dynameshed, so you're adding details like evenly in your geometry. So working in the interior of the head and then on the exterior as well, creating a little bit more of those sharp lines to make that character a little bit more stylized and give that touch. But as I can see right now, like it's lacking the hand. So I already have a hand that I created a while ago, so I just cheated a little bit. I just brought it in because I don't want to spend like a 20 minutes to build a hand. I should do it once in a while, which is good to do it, so you guys have kind of like a good practice. So I'll do it like sometimes some part of the anatomy, but in this case I just didn't want to bother. I have a hand array made, so might as well I just throw it in and just Dynamesh it and combine with the other part of the glove, and I had my result. Just kind of like you know, save some time. Sometimes you have to do it when you don't have much. So yeah, so I added a little bit more of poly paint, and that's pretty much the result after I added the back of the head. So I'm gonna leave you with a quick render here and a turntable. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please share, subscribe if you haven't done so, and thank you so much. And don't forget to watch my other 2 videos right here. Have an amazing Friday and have an amazing weekend, guys. Take care and see you next week. Bye.